Yo, it's your boy doing. I come to tell you to watch my video. We are back, guys, again, after 50 years. 50 years later, I still look the same, guys. You want to know how to look this great? Work out every day. That's all. Bet nobody can do that. Anyway, let's get right into it right away. You know, not wasting any time, because these can get really long really easily. So let's get right into it. Of course, yesterday we covered some A-Pink teasers for their new comeback, which is going to be on the 26th of their third full album, I believe, and it's called Pink Revolution. So we've seen a lot of teasers for all the other members, I think. So I think this is the last member, and it's... oh, I actually got it wrong. It's Namju. So here is her teaser. And then, of course, they have multiple teasers. So there's the other one. So get excited for that, because it's going to be coming up soon. Or something. So anyway, let's get into our news, and then at the end we'll have our special segment that we do on Fridays. We did on Saturday last week because we changed for a bit, but now we're back on Fridays, so it will be every single Friday. We will cover the top 10 manga of the week, according to the New York Times, because they cover it. So that's as legit as it's gonna get. I don't know how else we look at sales and how good they did or whatever. It just tells you the top 10 in sales. So that's what's doing good. So we check it every week, and it's fun and stuff. But before we do that, because that takes so long, let's try to get through these, pretty fast. So we have a bunch of DC stuff. Marvel is just not doing anything right now. Nothing. I mean, we did get a look at Ghost Rider in the fourth season of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. I'm not sure if that was before I started covering news every day or not. It might have been. I just didn't mention it. Sorry, but there's that. But there's not really a whole lot. But there is for DC in movies and TV shows. So the first thing is about TV show The Flash in particular, and about how the Flashpoint is going to be different than, of course, the comics or the animated movie of Flashpoint. So Andrew Kreisberg, which I think he's like a producer or executive producer, something like that. He's worked on a good amount of the DC shows. Was talking to Entertainment Weekly, and here is his exact words on it. He says, "The stakes in the comic book Flashpoint were global, and the stakes in the episode are very much just about Barry, his existence, and the people that he loves." That is the quote. And so this gives us two important things. The one thing is that even though apparently it will affect most of the shows, it will affect Arrow and Supergirl, I feel like. It might not affect Legends, since they're like traveling through time. But it will affect those, but it won't be something like Flashpoint where it stopped everything else. There was no other stories. There was nothing else happening. It was just one big event, like wars and stuff. It was all happening. There was nothing else. And then once it was over, it all changed. It's probably going to be like mostly on the Flash, is basically what he's saying. And that makes sense, it's the Flash storyline and stuff, so they can still do it in that and just have it more be in the Flash. And it's a TV show, maybe if they did in the movies, they could, DC didn't give out like Marvel did with the X-Men and Fantastic Four. They didn't, Spider-Man, they didn't give them to other people. They have all their characters. So if they want to do Flashpoint with exactly like the comic book, they can literally do that, which is really cool with DC. So hopefully they do something like that at some point. But anyway, so but in the TV, it's a TV show. They don't have all these characters. They don't have like Aquaman and Wonder Woman that can be fighting against each other, and Superman. I mean, they kind of do have Superman, but anyway, it's going to be kind of different, but it's still going to have some of that stuff. Another thing to talk about is that apparently he also says that in this episode, so I don't know, maybe just the first episode is just all Flashpoint, and then after that it's all changed back. I'm not sure. That's a bit interesting. So let's move on to our next story that also has something to do with the Flash, but not the Flash TV show, the Flash movie. So, of course, in the TV show, his dad is played by the guy who played the Flash in an old Flash TV show, but in the movies we didn't know who it was until today, and it's Billy Crudup. He was cast as Henry Allen in the Flash movie. You might know him. He actually played another kind of DC character. Spoiler alert: he is fully a DC character now. And spoiler alert. We'll stop after the 6:20. So turn off the sound if you don't want it. But anyway, he will be playing Dr. Manhattan, who is now part of the DC Comics universe, and so that's pretty cool. He played him before in the Watchmen movie, so now he'll play Henry Allen, so he's still kind of in the same universe, so that's cool. Yeah, that's about all I have to say for it. Okay, you can turn it back on. Now we'll move to the next story. And this story it's not necessarily a story, but I don't call it all stories. But it's about that we saw some new images of the new Team Arrow for season... Is it season 4, season 5? I can't remember. I'm getting mixed up a lot. Let's say it's season 5. I might be wrong, but I feel like I'm right. Because everybody liked season 2 and 3. Then, season 1 and 2, and then 3 it was kind of weird, and then 4 was what we just had that people also were kind of iffy on. But I think 5 might go back to hopefully being pretty good, and they say it's going to be more street level, which I think is going to help it a lot with being a lot more. Because Flash can do all this crazy stuff, but Arrow, it just, I don't think it works as well when they try to go all crazy, like, or they're gonna destroy the whole world with nuclear missiles and stuff. It's like, calm down, man. But anyway, we got some new photos of the new members of the Team Arrow, his new team, kind of. And it has some people that you might know if you watch the show, but they're all comic book characters, which is really cool. And one of them is very interesting. So the first one that we'll talk about is Curtis something. I forget his full name, but anyway, he's Mr. Terrific from the DC Comics, and his costume pretty much looks like his costume in the comics. Like, he has his mask and the suit. I think the suit's darker than in the comics. I think it's more of a brown, but that's kind of the suit that everybody has in Arrow. It's just brown leather or black. Because, it's dark and stuff. They can't have, like, colorful outfits. That's maybe on the Flash you can have that, or Legends. So that looked good. But then we have Artemis, who you might know from Young Justice, or maybe from the comics or stuff. She's a bit different, and she is, as far as I know, because I watched Young Justice. So in Young Justice, of course, she was way younger, and in Arrow she's going to be a bit older, and she was actually in the last season, but I didn't realize it because she wasn't there as Artemis. She was there as just another character. So that character is going to become Artemis. And she looks a little weird. She looks kind of like Speedy, who was Thea Queen. yeah, Thea Queen. That she became Speedy and is basically like female Green Arrow and younger. So she looked kind of like that, just like a brown leather suit type of thing. But her mask is really very interesting because it almost doesn't look like a mask. It almost just looks kind of like the eye makeup that all of Steven had in the first season, where he didn't have a mask. So I'm not sure if it's actually a mask or not. Now the most interesting one is a character that I didn't even know, and that is Wild Dog. So I am a DC fan, but I don't know all the characters, and this is a character that I had never heard of before. So I see the first pictures of him, and the first thing I'm thinking is that he looks pretty much like Jason because he's got a hockey mask that's like white and stuff. He looks kind of basically like Jason. So then I was like, well, is that just kind of a ripoff or something? But then I actually looked for the comics of him, and he looks pretty much exactly the same as that. So that's really cool. They pretty much got it spot on with him, and he seems like with that, like he looks cool. He looks really cool. So I'm very excited for his character. I think I'm most excited for him now because that's just the character in the comics how he looks. So I'm like that's going to be really interesting. So we have all them, and then also of course you have Oliver on the team, which I think his costume might have a few like things that are different, but not like any huge changes. And then Diggle is, I believe, on the team as well. And of course, a lot of people said that he got a helmet last season, and a lot of people said it's just like Magneto's helmet. It's rip off. It's awful. It doesn't look cool or anything. It's just weird. Apparently, he's got a new helmet, and it looks way better. And I didn't see it fully close up, but I felt like I saw it, and I felt like it looks a lot better. So we'll see when we get like full pictures of like his face and everything, if it really looks that good, but I feel like it's going to look a lot better than last season, so that's great. Now let's get into talking about the top 10 manga of the week, and I'm not saying that you should read them. I'm not saying that I've read them. I'm just stating what they are on. I'm not even telling you where they're from or where you can buy them. So it's just a fun little thing. So going from the actually, I'm a bit confused. Okay, so I feel like there's a bit of a an error here. But anyway, so counting down from the first one, it's Monster Musume number 9 or volume 9. We'll say it volume 9 is at number 1. And the thing that caught me off guard, and I was like, wait a minute, was that its previous rank, which means the rank it was at last week, it was number 1. But if you remember, we covered it last week, and it wasn't. It was Tokyo Ghoul in volume 8, which actually has the one spot as its previous ranking as well. So I feel like that's just an arrow. So it should say nothing because this first week it's been on. It's a new volume that just came out, because it also says weeks on the list 1. So yeah, that that kind of makes sense with that. So then of course we have some new ones this week, some new volumes. We also have some, of course, ones that were on before. So the next one is Tokyo Ghoul Volume 1. It stays at number 2, so it was number 2 last week, it's number 2 this week. But it's been on 61 weeks. So, excuse me, that's very good for it. And it's staying up there. Pretty cool. So next is Tokyo Ghoul Volume 2, which is at rank 3. So it's 3. Its previous ranking was 5, so it went up 2. So that's better. It's been on the list 37 weeks. Then moving on, we have this is one that some of these I know, but this one I have no clue what this is. It's called Dragons Rioting, and it's volume 4, so I don't know if any of the other volumes are going to have gotten on there. I don't know why this one's on here. Every time that one gets on here that I don't know, it's got my attention because I'm like, it got on here. It must be good enough to be with One Punch Man, Tokyo Ghoul, and Attack on Titan. So, you know, it must be more popular. Now I know what it is. Anyway, so this is its first week on. It's ranked at number 4, so it's not bad. You know, I'm really interested to know if the other 3 volumes ranked on the list at all. And this is its first week on the list. Next is One Punch Man Volume 1. it is at rank 5 this week. Last week it was at rank number 3, so it actually switched with Tokyo Ghoul Volume 2. Yeah, so it actually went down too, so that's not so good, but I mean, it's still on the list, you know. It's in the top 5, so that's cool. And it's been on the list 52 weeks. Next we have Tokyo Ghoul Volume 8, which of course is at rank 6, since the last rank was rank 5. You can kind of guess that. Last week it was at number 1. We've already said that as well. And it's been on the list 3 weeks. Next is Dimension W, Volume 3, and it jumps in, as I said, jumps in. It's its first week, and it ranks at number 7. So it doesn't have any previous weeks, since it hasn't been on the list more than 1 week. And of course, that means that it's been on the list 1 week in the other category. Anyway, next is Attack on Titan number 19 at volume... getting mixed up here. At rank number 8. And its last rank was at number 7, so it moves down 1. So not a huge deal in that. It's been on the list 5 weeks. This will make you up really fast with all the stuff they have. So next you have Haikyuu 1, which is kind of weird, since I would think that it would be a new... I believe there's more Haikyuu volumes than Volume 1. And none of the other new volumes have come out. Maybe they have and they just didn't rank. I don't know. But Volume 1 jumps in randomly. Okay, I guess it got some kind of boost. I'm not sure. It's at number 9, and it's been on the list 6 weeks. But of course, since it just jumped in again, it's been on the list before 5 times. So this will be its 6th time. But yeah, but the weeks are counted... whether you've fallen off and then come back on or not. It's all the total weeks you've been on it, not in a row. Next, and the last one, is My Hero Academia Volume 5 at number 10, and we have it having been on the list for 5 weeks, and last week it was at rank 4, which is now occupied by Dragon's Writing. So some of the newer ones are pushing off ones from last week. So yeah, so that's all for that. So yeah, so that's the top 10 for this week. So see, next week we'll have another round of that, and we'll see if Dragon's Writing was able to stay in, or if it'll fall out. How popular is it? I don't know, because this is the first time I've ever heard of it. Anyway, I'll see you tomorrow with another video. Goodbye, and it's go time!